My name is Martin Burt, and I come from Paraguay. I started 30 years ago with one of the first social enterprises in my country, but also in Latin America. And we were part of the group that believed in microfinance. And microfinance is really the element that allowed these social enterprises to grow, because think of 1975. Think of the paradigms when some, Mohammed Yunus in Bangladesh, but also the people in Acción International in Latin America said, we can lend money to the poor and they will return it. If you think about it, it was pretty revolutionary, because the poor were considered to be low-level people that had no capacity. And the monopoly for working with the poor was in the hands of the government. And business did not have any capacity to deal with social issues because there was not a business case to work with the poor. The discovery that there is an alternative to charity, and that this alternative to charity may even be better, was revolutionary. And microfinance worked. You can lend money to the poor. The poor will return the money. And another discovery, you can charge them real interest rates. And yes, it is going to be beneficial for them and for the lender. Today, 250 million borrowers in the microfinance industry. Why does microfinance work? Is it because of the finance, or is it because of something else? What if it is not about the finance, but it is about the dignity? Because if it is about the dignity, then we have many opportunities. And I met Elena Casolari when we had a dream. If microfinance works in microfinance, and microfinance works not because of finance, but because of dignity, can we apply the lessons learned of microfinance to education? But education, that is a public good, that belongs to the government. But what if? And so we are creating self-sufficient schools for the extreme rural poor, where you have enterprises generating income on campus that fulfills the curriculum objectives of the Ministry of Education. We now have 50 self-sufficient school models in 35 countries. How can a poor 17-year-old young girl produce enough eggs, sell to the market with the money generated by the sale of eggs, pay the professor, and pay her school? And now we have that the poor can also pay for their energy, and that the poor can pay for their hygienic products. And what are the lessons learned? We have to invest in human resource. If we are going to be involved in a social enterprise, do not forget that human resources in the developing world are scarce. We need to invest in human resources. Second lesson, we need to think about succession planning. You saw 4 social entrepreneurs today. In 20 years, where are they going to be? And who is going to be running these organizations? Third, It is a social enterprise. Why social? Where is the social? Prove to me that you are having a social impact. Because there is a null hypothesis. And the null hypothesis is no. Unfortunately, it is not true that this solar company is better than other purely commercial electricity. And so the burden for you and for me and for them is to incorporate in the design of the company certain metrics, certain design elements to be able to come up with information and evidence. Because if we can produce real scientific econometric evidence that yes, this solar electricity model works, then there will be a lot of money. But he is at a stage where he has to invest in the operations, and he does not have time nor energy to invest in the monitoring and evaluation from the outset. Every single client, every single worker, we must have a baseline of 2014 data so that in 2018, when you visit, you can see whether, compared to another group of Indian homes, these homes are better than those. This is something that we have learned, because what traditional people say? Water, water, and there is nothing to drink. There is information, 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 but when you go to a social enterprise and you try to make a case for the distinct social impact, you have no information. Because they were so busy making their first sale that they did not take the socioeconomic data of their clients and of their workers. And so this is something that, and fifth, mission drift. This has happened, and it has created a very serious reputational risk for the whole industry. So we need to, we need to protect this industry. And we need to make sure that if we say that this is a social enterprise, it remains a social enterprise. As my new friend says, or is this about fortune at the bottom of the pyramid, where we make I'm thinking of a Spanish, hacemos harina. We make flour of these people. This is the biggest danger that we have, because we have opportunities to do business and to fulfill our mission in our companies if we can go with the social enterprises. But what if this is a fraud? What if this is a fraud and they are not social? What if this is a predatory system to take philanthropic money and invest in a business that is only about value appropriation and not about value creation for society? So these are the lessons learned, and this is something that we have the privilege today of incorporating in the original design of the product. So when you lend 100,000 euro, 300,000 euro, think, I am going to invest 300,000 euro in the company, and I'm going to help you to come up with a metric that is going to be good for you and me. Let's not think, oh boy, it's 2019. We need data because, okay. So those are the lessons learned that I would like to share with you, because this is a very beautiful opportunity to change capitalism as we know it. And capitalism as we know it will change anyway. Think of Kiva. Do you know Kiva? There is a new economy, the economy of people to people. So now you have Grameen Bank who is lending money, but people do not need to go to Grameen Bank. You can go to a website and lend from Milan to this person. You can give them a 50-euro loan or a 500, right? It's people to people. When Kiva was born, the people in the microfinance industry, do you think they said congratulations? No. Who are you to bring innovation? There is also another company in the United States called Tom's Shoes. Tom's Shoes has the business model of buy one, I give one for free. Okay? So they are revolutionizing the shoe industry because who can compete with that, right? Now they are saying they're selling eyeglasses. Buy one expensive glasses, we are going to fund a cataract operation in Brazil. Now they're getting into the coffee business. Starbucks is very worried. And so, in conclusion, what I would like to do is, first of all, congratulate you for this new capitalism that we can open. Okay, a capitalism with a conscience, a capitalism with intelligence, a capitalism that needs evidence, right? And challenge the existing monopoly of too big to fail, and governments who say, I am the only one who speaks in representation of the people. And give me the money, I will produce electricity for the people. So we need to challenge those two opportunities, and we have to think seriously about our limitations. Why are we so afraid of change? Think of when microfinance started. When microfinance started, it was practically illegal. Why would you want to, as a high-ranking member of the National Development Bank in my country said, you want to lend money to the street vendor? Yes. Are you crazy? We need to have the street vendors disappear, not fund them. So that was the idea, right? And look what has happened today. So, solar lights. The technology was there, right? They just put 2 + 2 together. The eco posts, the same thing. What else is there that we're not doing? What are we blind to? And what is the role of Milan? What is impossible today that we can think of? Just like today we're talking about certain things that used to be impossible and now they're completely normal. So I want to thank Elena for this invitation to this great part of the world. This is something that when one comes to Milan, one feels, okay, these people know something. These people know something, and you have the responsibility, but the right to say, 1 minute, World Bank, I have an idea here. Okay? I have an idea, and I think that our business intelligence, design intelligence, innovative intelligence can apply for water. Because the World Bank has been investing in water and water and water for governments and for governments forever. It is a big business, this poverty thing. Somebody's making money because it doesn't go away. So how can we change that? This is what Opes is trying to do, what we are trying to do in supporting Opes. And one final thing. On Saturday, I will be thinking of you, Italy. Okay? Okay? And I'm going to say, Viva Italia. Muchas gracias.